Happy Friday, everybody. Let me turn that down a little bit. Didn't test that part. There. Okay. How's everybody doing? It is Friday night again. I still have not got the lights to cooperate. I go in and I change them and I fix them, and then within an hour or two, they're back to doing what they want. So we're just going to let them do what they want. I think they may be wearing out or something. So, anyway, it has been a fun week. Next week is going to be even funner. I am taking my little man on vacation for 4 days. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yep, 4 days. And so I'm super, super excited about that. But that means I will be doing the next Friday's live stream remotely. So I've been trying to figure out how to do all that. And I've decided, because the last vacation we went on, it was at a water park. And so I used my little Osmo Action, and this thing was phenomenal. So I'm going to take this again. I will take the M6 only because I am going to do a live stream, and I have not figured out how to live stream with it. I haven't really tried it, to be honest with you. It might. I don't know. I do have the Osmo 4 on order, and they had said it would be December 21st before I got it. Well, now they have updated that to the Sunday after we get back. So, yeah, go figure. But, I mean, I'll have it for, I guess, Halloween, or, well, I don't really get to see them on Halloween, but I'll have it for the next adventure. So, I will be carrying this. And so, I've been trying to find a little sling. The Tom Talk at Great Wolf did fantastic. I mean, I wish it was just a little bigger. Not big enough to go to their next size up, just a little bigger. So I've been kind of getting some different bags, and I think I have 3 now that this will fit in, that aren't just like super huge. I will be doing some reviews on some bigger bags, because everybody kind of likes the bigger bags, but everybody except shrimps like me. So I will be doing some bigger bag reviews coming up. But I found another one this past week. So in Oklahoma, everybody has Carhartt. Okay, even if you're not a farmer or a rancher or a Hickville, everybody has Carhartt. And so I found a Carhartt bag. So I know on the east and west coast it's not quite as prevalent as it is here, but yeah, here it's like a staple. It's like a pair of Wrangler jeans or Levi jeans. Everybody has a Carhartt, right? So everybody has it's a house divided between Levi's and Wranglers. You either wear Levi's or you wear Wranglers. It's just an Oklahoma thing. So anyway, let's see who is here. Let's see if I can, see if I've got this fixed. Okay, I have not yet been able to fix the corners. English is my first language. Jeff's here. Afternoon from Brisbane. Sly, how's your weekend? It has gone really well so far. I had little man today, and so things are always a little topsy-turvy after he's been here. Takes me a minute to find everything. In fact, my phone was kicked under the bed. So I haven't had a phone for several hours. But I found it. It's all good. Lewis! I know that really probably just blew out the mic, but how are you, bud? And he's asking how I am. I'm good. I'm good. Good to see you. Randy's here saying hi, Sly. Hi, Randy. You've made some really good videos this week, bud. And Roy's saying, good day, Sly. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you too, Roy. Or Friday night, or whatever the case may be. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? Roy says, does that crown on your shirt mean you are the queen of bags? Roy, you don't have to put any Q's on the questions here. There's like, what, I don't know how many people are here, but not very many. So I'm pretty sure yeah. Yeah. So the crown of my shirt, okay, if I stand up just a little bit, it says, upgrade your skills. So who do we know that saying from? Yes, Mr. Camera Junkie. This is one of his merch shirts. Which, when you guys are designing shirts, okay, move it up. Like the crown should be up. I'm looking. The crown should be up about here. It's a little low, but it's okay. I like it. It works. And Lewis is saying hi, the queen of bags. I've turned into that, haven't I? Randy's saying, how long does the battery on the Osmo last? About an hour. Which, Randy, you're like a mind reader, because I'm going to dive right into that. Peter says, yeah, I figured out how to stop my live stream. Well, I thought you knew how, because I came in on the first one. And then you ended it, and I guess you started another one. And I'm running around, and I didn't realize. So, I should have, I don't know that I got notification, honestly. But I was in on the first one. I said hi. So, yeah. Randy says, the switch always worked for me. The switch. The switch. Which switch? The off switch? Jeff says, I need to pop out. We'll be back soon. Okay. Yeah, it's your guys' afternoon, right? I was kind of nervous earlier. I guess they had a birthday party, and so they were shooting off fireworks like it was New Year's Eve. And then, like 30 minutes after the fireworks, somebody got in a fight right outside my window. So, you know, I turn off all the lights and I'm out the window kind of seeing what's going on. It was just, but, so the women in my neighborhood like to get very loud, and they like to bring everything out on the street. So we can't have arguments inside the house. Let's take them outside the house. Yeah. So it gets very noisy sometimes. Roy is saying to Peter, we noticed you found the off switch. Gotcha. Lewis saying, Sly, do you have a battery solution for that camera? I want to have that camera when I travel to Singapore. Which camera? This one? Because if I was going to Singapore, this is what I'd take. It is small. You can pack it in your luggage. I am taking a camera bag because I'll be doing the live stream on Friday. So I'm taking the camera bag for that. But, and I'm probably going to take a destination bag for the lights and, you know, the whole setup. But for the zoo, I'm taking this one. And if I was going to Singapore, I would take this one. Now, when I get the 4, when are you going, Lewis? Because I get the 4 a week from Sunday. I am going to test these 2 bad boys out because now, y'all know I'm kind of a battery hoarder. That's kind of my thing. And so I have, I think, 8 or 10 batteries for the, but I have 2 of these. Okay, so I probably have 8 because I probably have 4 apiece. The 4 takes a different battery. Yeah, there's that. So if it is not a $400 difference from the original, MPB has these for $160. Like brand new. Like I don't think they can sell them as new, so they say like new. But I think they have like 6 or 8 of them, and they all have everything that these came with. So I have a feeling they may have bought them from DJI. So if the new 4 is not up to speed, $400 worth, I'm sending it back and I'm getting more of these. I love this camera. It does phenomenal. The only thing it doesn't do phenomenal in is low light, which that's kind of what I want to see how the 4 does. So I'll be doing my little test with my little bar where I can put them side by side and let you guys know. This one, I have these, see, I even have them right handy with me. I have all these little lights, and you can just put them on. That solves the problem. As far as filming yourself, okay, with this on there, it solves the problem. It doesn't light up anything behind you, but that's fine. Generally, if you're filming in the dark with an action camera, you're probably not filming what's behind you. So there's that. So if you mean the action camera, my solution is to have more batteries. Yeah, and so I have a lot. They're not expensive anymore. I think when I first started buying them, they were about $30 a battery, and now they're less. They're not that bad. Scott's here. How you feeling, Scott? In Michigan, we love Carhartt. See, it's a middle of the country thing. You know, Michigan, South Dakota, North Dakota, everywhere where it's cold. I don't think they really know about it on the West Coast too much, or on the East Coast too much, because they seem to wear other stuff. But now, the people whose videos I watch, they're up north, like close to Canada, they wear something called a Canada Goose or Canadian Goose or something. Canada Goose, I think is what it's called. Real pretty jackets. But yeah, in the middle part of the country, we wear Carhartts. And I probably have 6 Carhartt coats. So yeah. In fact, my little neighbor they burned his house, and he refuses to leave. So he stayed there all last winter, and I took him a Carhartt coat because they are really warm. Peter says, "Is that the jacket I love?" Cool beans. Yes, it is. Yes, and I found a hip thing that will fit this. Yeah. So Peter says, "Winter, winter, chicken thighs." You're so wrong. You're so wrong. Peter says, "Hi, Lewis. He's back and we love him." Are those are not coming up on the screen, are they? It's behind me. That's good. Let's see if we can. Where you at? I see ya. You know what? We're going to do like we did the other night. Because you guys do not need to see that much of me. There you are. We'll just bring this over here. We'll just bring this over here. I don't know how to bring it to the front. So sorry about that. Where'd you go? Come back. There we go. Okay. There is a way to bring this to, oh, maybe it's right here. No. That's the one I need on mine because it does the corner radius things, which I don't have that on mine. So anyway, you're there. Oh, that's what y'all are seeing. Never mind. I didn't fix it, did I? Okay, well, we can make me smaller. Okay, there. There you go. Now you should be... Center that back up. Okay, where was I? Right here. Okay. Roy says, "I'm a creature of habit." And you know, not one of you said, "Hey, your comments aren't showing up." I figured it out just now. Yeah. I'm a creature of habit. Queen of bags sounds better. There you go. The queen of bags. With my crown. Raina says, "Oh, there you..." Okay, I just didn't read down far enough. Thank you very much, Randy. That's twice that you've done that tonight. You're reading my mind. Your highlighted messages are behind your pic, yeah. And I don't know how to get them in front. I'm sure there is a way, and it's probably really fast. Yeah, I just don't know quite how to do that. Yep, still behind. Yeah, don't know. And Peter says, "But I always don't really look up..." What? I always don't really look up all that much on t-shirts. I have to retrain my... You are in one of those moods tonight, I think. Yeah. Eyes up here. Actually, I was teasing him about that while he was making his shirts. He put all his designs too low, and I said, up here. Eyes up here. So it's kind of a joke. Unlock your screen, make it smaller, then you can move the highlighted message from the chat, then lock your screen. Okay. Okay, wait a minute. Unlock your screen, make it smaller, then you can move the highlighted chat, then lock your screen. So I did. I made me smaller. Is that what you're talking about? I just don't know how to get you on top of me. Easy, Peter. I know there is a way to do that. But it's something about bringing it forward, or yeah. Yeah, a lot of people struggle with that. I've watched some YouTube videos, and a lot of people struggle with it. Lewis actually explains it really well. I just have not had time to find the video where he did that. Outside arguments entertain the neighbors. Yes, they do. Because you turn off all the lights, and then you run to the window, and you peek out, and you're listening. And, you know, it was kind of funny. So I still don't know what the argument was about. I could just hear her screaming, and he was just kind of mumbling. So, you know. Lewis says, yeah, I want to bring an action camera. Do you shoot in 4K or do you shoot in 1080? I leave for the Philippines Wednesday. Okay, so I won't have the 4 by then. What action camera do you have? And I shoot in 1080. So everything I do is in 1080. I don't like, I accidentally, when we went kayaking, I have one of these behind me and I have one in front of me facing me. And one of them was set to 4K and I didn't realize it. And when I came home and was editing the files, oh my goodness, there was like 6 files compared to 2. It was stupid how much bigger, and I couldn't figure out why, because they were both on the same time, right? And so it does hugely increase the file size. And I noticed in 4K, it creates a new file every 15 minutes. Whereas in 1080, it doesn't. It like records until the battery dies. That's one file. And then you put a new battery in, start it up again, and that's another file. So I don't like 4K. No. Where did I go? I think I moved everybody up and I lost everybody. Okay. Peter says, was it a food fight outside your house? I want to be there. No food. Just a little, I am a little lady of color getting upset about a man of, yeah. So, you know. Lewis says, my question, do I bring more batteries or just use a power bank instead? It's challenging because of that. So, I don't have enough faith in, I have 3 or 4 power banks. Okay. Some of them are pretty good size. I don't have enough faith in them to trust that to only having like 2 batteries. So I have all these batteries and I make sure everything is charged up before we go. I can charge 3 at a time. So I charge 3 the night before, and then usually 3, and now I can use this in the car. It does not charge as fast in the car, but it will do it. And so I always have fresh batteries, because like I think we're driving 4 hours the first day and then 4 hours the second day. And so I will have fresh batteries the whole trip, because this will be sitting in my console, just charging their little hearts out. And it really panicked me because I couldn't find 3 of the batteries. And so I thought, I have a whole drawer full of batteries that have never been opened for these cameras. And I thought I was going to have to break them out. And then I found them. Little man had been playing with, he was using them as building blocks. Yeah. It's always interesting at my house. Peter says, in case Carlos comes in here tonight, I want to say thank you for helping me out today. You're awesome. He is awesome. You guys are all awesome. And that's why I love this group so much, is you are so ready to help each other and without judgment. And that's so incredibly amazing to find a group of people like that. So you all rock. Liz says, that would help me so much, Sly. Thank you. So, yes, I don't know which action camera you have, but pick up extra batteries. And plus those battery, I don't think I have one. Oh, yeah, I do. Right here. I have a ton of these things. These little bricks. And they weigh a ton. So I can't imagine carrying around a couple of these would be... I wouldn't want to do it. Now, when you're in Singapore, you will need a different plug, which you probably already know that, so I don't know why I'm telling you that, but you will need a different plug to plug your electrical stuff in. It's just an adapter. I think I have 2 or 3 of them. Mistress of bags. That sounds even a little more mysterious. Mistress of bags. Uh-huh. Still kind of liking the queen thing, though. Yeah. Don't hold high. On screen, text looks larger than usual. Well... because you guys are important. Is that better? I don't care if I'm little bitty, right? I just want you guys up there. So if I knew how to put you behind, and I know there is a way to do this. I just don't know what it is. Because I can click, let me put somebody up here. Okay. There's Roy. I can click on this, and I think there is supposed to be a way to move you to the front or the back. But I'm not seeing it. So, it is what it is. What I am seeing on that is, well, I'm just clicking and opening tons of windows. I don't know what I'm doing. It's all good. Lewis says, I updated the firmware on my Hero 7 GoPro, and it's working, so I'll bring that on my trip instead. Okay, so I think it's Jeff uses a GoPro. I don't know which one he uses, but it's either a 7 or 8, I think. I really should pay attention more. And from what I understand, he absolutely loves it. He's never had any glitching. He's never had any problems at all. So yes, by all means, pick up some extra batteries for the GoPro 7. They can't be that expensive. It's an older camera. So that's what I would do. You guys know I'm not about the latest and the greatest. I'm about what works, right? And this little thing works amazing. And if the new one, they've tried, this is their 4th shot. The first one was a huge success. This thing's amazing. Second one, kind of a flop because they made it vertical. Nobody wants a vertical camera. The third one had focusing issues. The 4th one is in the body of the 3rd one. They just changed the lens and the sensor. So I'm really kind of curious to see, because you can just unscrew these lenses off. So now they did, for the 3, they did change the body a little bit because it does not fit in the cage of the original. And the lens is bigger. So I don't know if my little rubber cup is going to fit over that lens. But we'll see. There may be some growing pains in the beginning. I'm really hopeful that it is, these will be great for the kayak. I have no problem putting them on the kayak. The footage on those is absolutely fine. But I would like to up my game just a little bit. So we'll see. It should be here Not this Sunday, but a week from Sunday. And I'm real excited. So Roy says, when my neighbors have an outside argument, I get the deck chairs out. Right? I kind of started to want to go sit out on my porch, but I thought they'd probably throw something at me. So I probably shouldn't have done that. So I didn't. Yeah. Randy's talking to Roy, says, the magpies will probably join you for that. So bring some treats and marshmallows and have a great time. Record it too. Yeah, I don't know if you'd get in trouble for that or not. Yeah. In my neighborhood, you might get shot. Not really sure. Roy's talking to Randy, saying, last time I was outside, a kookaburra brought me a present. A huntsman spider. Ooh, no thank you. And Randy says, raid and off helps. I don't think if a kookaburra comes a-calling, it's going to help. Raid and off aren't going to help very much. Lewis says, oh, you're right. I need a power adapter. I forgot. Yeah, it's a triangular looking thing. It's kind of weird looking. Randy says, fly swatter too, right? And Roy's better. What? Oh, the comments are better? Good. Good. Ah, Jeff, back. What have I missed? Okay, Jeff, which GoPro do you have? Lewis is going to Singapore, and he has the 7, the Hero 7, and he's got some questions about if he needs batteries or if he should take a power bank to keep the batteries charged. I'm saying batteries and charge them in the hotel room. But I'm the battery. I have tons of batteries, so yeah. Randy says, in your overlays, T plus makes the text smaller. Okay. T plus. Oh, is the text itself too big? Or was the box too big? Because as you make the box smaller, it says you make the box smaller, the text gets smaller. As you make the box bigger, the text gets bigger. So, but what I was wanting was the text to be over me. That's the part I haven't figured out yet. As long as the text fits on the screen. That's right. Yeah, we all get the gist of it, right? Carlos saying, hey Sly, so much to complain about, but I'm choosing not to. Right? Number 1, does it make any difference to anybody but you? It might make you feel better to complain a little bit, but is it going to change anything? Probably not. So I have learned not to complain a whole lot because nobody else cares, right? So I just, unless I have a legitimate gripe, then probably only the person who's annoying me cares. I don't know. Generally speaking, yeah, nobody. And I get that. It's all good. How much memory do I need to bring on my trip? Okay. I don't know how long you're going to be gone. I tend to put, before I tell you a story, because I have a whole bunch of 128s. Let me just double check, because I'm thinking that's what I'm using. Yes. Okay. So I use these little Samsung 128s because I don't have to worry about ever running out. Now, I'm not generally gone like a week or so. If I was, and of course I'm putting it in upside down, that and USBs. I do that all the time. If I was going to be gone a week or so, I'd probably take, if the GoPro will handle a 128, I would probably take 4. If you're recording in 1080, that's a lot of recording. Okay, if you fill up 4 128 memory cards in 1080, you pretty much have recorded your entire trip from the time you wake up until you go to bed, and maybe even sleeping. I'm not sure. But I definitely know that the memory cards will last longer than the batteries. So, but 128, you don't have to worry about changing them out so often. Whereas if you go with like a 64, you would have to change those twice as often as you do the 128. So just get you some 128s. If now some of the cameras won't take those. When I was, back when I first started buying action cameras, some of those, like was it the Akaso? No, the Gamsod would only take, I want to say it was 32 or so. It was really, really small. I could not even tell you where that memory card is because I don't ever use it. I used it just for that camera. So, but the Osmos will take a 128, so that's what I use. And they're not that expensive. I think they're like $15, $20, something like that. Uncle G, hi everyone, happy weekend. Well, I hope you're having a happy weekend, bud. I haven't seen you since last weekend, and I haven't talked to you very much, so I hope you've been having a good week. Lewis says, do I get official batteries or off-brand? Okay, so for my M6 Mark IIs, I use the Wasabi. Let me see, because I don't think all of these are actually. Yes, they are. They are. The DJI for the action cameras, they are all DJI batteries. And I think I did that because I couldn't find an off-brand, maybe. Now, like this is an original. Let's see if I can find. These are empties. I don't know what I've done with them now again. I found them and then I lost them again. This is an original. That one's an original. Oh, yes I do. Because I was going to show you guys this. I know exactly what I did with them. Nope, that's the wrong ones. Let's see if these have a brand name on them. But I think they're DJI. Okay. The only difference between the original and the ones I've bought afterwards are on the bottom. One has, it's gonna get blown out, ain't it? There we go. Okay, one has writing, one doesn't. So the original ones that came with the camera have writing on the bottom. I have no idea what that says. I'd have to like get a magnifying glass out. But the ones I've bought after, they say DJI on them. Let's see if you can. Yeah, see, they say DJI up here in the corner, but they don't have the writing on the bottom. So I have 2 of these that have the writing, and then I have about 6 that don't. So that's okay. But speaking of, so I got my Timba bag and I absolutely adore it. And so I found this Timba battery case, which, the batteries are tiny for the M6. So this thing will hold 4 batteries, which is pretty good. And look how little it is. It's tiny. And you stack them. You got 2 there and 2 on the other side. So I love this. But I'm not going to be prancing around the zoo with my M6. I'm going to be prancing around the zoo with the action camera. So I thought, okay, I kind of need a holder for those. Now, I have 2 of these. But for the Amazon, what they call it, Prime Days or whatever, they had this little bitty pouch. Isn't that cute? I have no idea what I would use this for. But it was like $10, and it's that X-Pack material, and it has the magnetic closure thing. And so when I got it, I thought, oh, I can put the action camera batteries in there. No, I can't. Well, I can, but it only holds 2. So I thought, okay, well, I have another Timba thing, and it holds 4 batteries for the M6, so I can put the action camera batteries. No, it only holds 2. So, but with this thing, it's got this cute little thing. You can hang it on the outside of your backpack. Well, I took the carabiner thing off it, and I put it on here, and you can accomplish the same thing. So I may look kind of funny having these kind of dangling from my backpack, but that way I'll have 4 batteries with me and I don't have to open the backpack to get to them. I don't know if you noticed in the dinosaur video, but little man does not give me a lot of time to sit down and change things. It is pretty much just run again, run again, run and go. So I don't really even know why I'm taking a camera backpack, because he's not going to give me time to sit down and do a whole lot. I might get to change battery, but you don't have a lot of time to change lenses and do this, that, and the other. I probably will take my G7X too, just because it has some zoom on it. It's not as steady as the action camera, but if I'm just standing still and I want to get a picture of something that's a little further away, I can zoom with the G7X, and it'll still fit like in a pocket type situation. So where we at? Roy's talking to Lewis, saying if cheap batteries fail, they can expand in your camera and destroy it. Ooh, okay, that's not good. I've never had problems with Wasabi, but I don't know that they make batteries for action cameras. So you need to check that out. Lewis saying, holy moly, 4 times 128 gig. I'll be in Singapore 1 week and the Philippines 2 weeks. Ooh, you might need more than 4. I thought you were going to be gone a week. So that's 3 weeks. Depends on how much you plan on filming. I mean, 4 is going to give you a lot. I'm trying to think. It seems like when we're out on the river all day, it seems like I use less than 32. But yeah, if you're going to be gone 3 weeks, you might need more than 4. I would err on the safe side, because those are some memories that you don't want to lose. So if you're going to be gone 3 weeks, I don't know, buy 4 extras. But I overbuy on everything, so don't pay any attention to me. Randy's talking to Lewis and said, I use 1 terabyte and have no problem. Okay, but it depends on the device, camera, and what the limit of storage is. Be careful of third-party batteries. So yeah, I mean, Wasabi, I haven't had any problems with them, but I've never tried, I don't think I've ever tried to use anybody else. I bought my friend Debbie some Wasabis for her Canon camera, and she hasn't had any problems. So, but like I said, I don't know that they make them for action cameras. I bet they do. I bet somebody does. Just be careful. You can probably find actual GoPro batteries not very expensive, because for the Hero 7, now I don't know if GoPro 7, 8, 9, if they all take different batteries, or if GoPro standardized that. That would have been wonderful if they did. Apparently DJI can't do that, but yeah, just a small thing. Not complaining, Carlos, just a small thing. Peter says, Lewis, will you have a laptop? If so, offload the cards onto the laptop. If not, you'll need a few extra cards. And for your batteries, make sure not to forget the charger. Yes. And the cable. Yeah. So I tend, if it's not packed, my cable is always on the charger, because I will forget the cable. I have before. So yeah, don't forget the cable. In fact, take extra cables, just in case. Roy says there are many fake batteries and cards, especially on Amazon. Absolutely. Yes. So if any of you guys use aftermarket batteries, what brand do you like? Like I said, I think Even on my, yeah. This is a, for the ADD, and it's a wasabi. And it because from what I've heard and read, Canon especially has a problem with aftermarket batteries in that the camera won't read the battery. Um, Now, like I said, I have never had a GoPro, but Jeff does. So Jeff, if you're still in here, give Lewis some pointers there. Roy says I could hide the wife's credit card in that little bag. Hey, that's, well, you know, they in the description it's called a coin purse. You can't put coins in here. This thing is, let me see if I can show you this. Okay, this is tiny. It's not only tiny, but it does have two pockets, but it doesn't have any zippers. So if you put coins in here, even if it has a magnetic thing, they're going to fall out. That's not okay. We don't like that. So, I just thought it was cute. I'll figure out something to put in it, whether it be some batteries or I'll figure out something. And the fact that it would hang off my backpack is what kind of, and it's not very big. So I could hang it like down low and I don't think it would bother me too much. And then I got batteries just boom, right there. Now this, the Timba one will actually go on a belt, but then your shirt doesn't kind of go over it. And I don't ever tuck my shirt in. So yeah, there's that. Jeff says, I also bought a twin GoPro charger with an extra battery. There you go. This is well worth buying as it also uses the USB-C cable to use with a power bank. Keep in mind, carry on, you can only have 100 watt hours. Okay, so yes, if you're carrying this in your backpack on the plane, this little thing, I don't even know how many, this thing lasts a long time, but I don't know how many watts it is. I know one of the ones I have is like 100 watt. And I'm actually using one over here right now, and it's smaller than this one. They're just, for me, I have to, when I run them out, I have to plug them in and just forget about them because they take quite a while to charge back up. So they last a while, but they take a long time to charge back up. So I will maybe, no, I'm not going to take one. I'll just take all extra batteries. It's just easier. But I do have to pack tomorrow because I won't have time Monday, Tuesday, and then, or Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then I'm going to race home Wednesday morning, get 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and then go pick him up, and off we go. And he's still looking forward to it. Lewis said, sadly, my other GoPro was not liking the third-party battery. I think I don't have a laptop, only an iPad Pro. So I don't have an iPad. I don't know if you can download to that or not. I don't know. I just bought a laptop and I don't even have all the programs on it. I'm going to work on that tonight. I've got Ecamm on it, sort of. And when I say sort of, obviously I'm not good with Ecamm. I should be probably trying OBS. Yeah. It couldn't be any worse than this. Because every time somebody puts a big comment on there, I have to make myself smaller. And making myself smaller is not working. Is it working? Nope, not working. Okay, well, it'll go away in a minute. And then there, nope. Nope. Don't know. It's like I'm cemented on there and everybody else is behind me. Because it was working a minute ago, but it's not now. Oh, because I locked it. Duh. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're just going to be up here in the middle. I'll just wave from up here. Alright, so Lewis says, thank you, Peter. Thank you, Sly. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Roy. Thank you, everyone. What is that pouch, Sly? Okay. I'll get 1 terabyte like Randy says. This is just something I picked up off Amazon, the Prime Day thing they had just this last week. I got it because it's that cool X-Pack material, and it's got this magnetic thing on the front, and I was just enamored, right? They say small things, good things come in small packages. And I don't know, it's got kind of a fun lining in it, and I was just enamored with it. I have no idea what to put in here. I guess you could put like cards in this back slot. That is actually the perfect size. I don't have a card handy with me, but somewhere. I've got a million of these things and I cannot find a card. Anyway, yeah, I could put cards in there too. That's a really good idea. Put 2 batteries and my business cards. That's a good idea, Roy. Glad I thought of it. Roy says, and storage depends on whether you shoot stills or video. Absolutely, but if you're taking a GoPro, I'm assuming you're going to be shooting videos. I probably have not taken 3 or 4 pictures on these things, and hours of videos. It's kind of an interesting thing. Most YouTubers do videos with cameras. Cameras were originally for stills, right? They made video cameras for video, but nobody uses video cameras for video. Everybody uses cameras. That was just one of those things that made you go type thing. Stills on the EOS M, video on the GoPro, and Osmo Pocket. I forgot you had that Osmo Pocket. Yes. I really like that Osmo Pocket. I think it takes remarkable pictures, and it's the Rocksteady works really well on those. So, and with the GoPro and the Osmo Pocket, I think you can get the Osmo Pocket wet. I know you can the GoPro. So, yeah, you should be set. I mean, Lewis, I'm using an M200 right here. So, ain't nothing wrong with that M camera. Rock on. Lewis says, I would like to get the link for the belt loop, Sly. The link for the belt loop. What belt loop? Oh, for these? For the little battery things? I'm pretty sure it's in the description. Pick one that doesn't have that thing on it. Yeah, it's just Velcro. So it just goes over your belt, and then you just Velcro it. It stays on your belt loop, which it's pretty cool. This holds 4 batteries for the M6 and 2 batteries for the Osmo Action. So, which they're not a lot. Well, they're a little bigger, but because they've got these funky little, it's a funky shape. I don't know if you can see that. Let me hold it in front of my face. See that funky little shape right there? I keep it in a case because I don't want to break that off. So I'm not going to say they're delicate, but they're more delicate than just a square battery. So I keep them in these little cases, and they take up a little bit more room. But that's just me being picky. Roy says some airlines only allow 1 battery and a spare. Really? How would they know? Just saying. If you've got them like stashed everywhere, how would they know? Carlos says, I use the iPad Pro and the Quick GoPro app. It's awesome for Wi-Fi downloading. There you go, Lewis. So with your iPad, well, does he have the iPad Pro? I know he has an iPad. I don't know if it's the Pro. But the GoPro app should make them talk to one another. So that would be a fantastic. That way you can download. And isn't everything on a cloud now anyway? Download it and then reuse the memory card. I'm not that techie, Lewis. And so I would have enough memory cards to go the whole trip. And then when I got home, I would download everything. Yeah, because, yeah, I would worry. Yeah. Lewis is thanking everybody, saying we're so helpful. Yeah, we love you, Lewis. And Randy's giving him a thumbs up. Lewis says, I just wish I knew how to transfer my files to iPad Pro to SSD so I could offload my cameras. That, I think, does the iPad Pro have a USB-C on it somewhere? I just got these. This is for the laptop, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, that's kind of where I'm going with that. But I just got these two things. One is an Anchor and one is an off-brand. They both have 4 USB-A's, but they go to USB-C, which is what the laptop has. So with these, I can plug in my camera, microphone, and I had something else plugged into these. And now, oh, light, no. Camera and microphone. I can't remember what else I had plugged in. Oh, the mouse. Yeah. So, because I had 3 things plugged in. So the aftermarket one actually works a little better because of the spacing. There's like 2 close together here. I don't know if you can see that. And then one further out, but then there's one on the bottom. So as far as, because these capture cards are quite thick, and so they take up more than on these 2 that are close together, they take up more than their fair share of the room. On the Anchor, they're all spaced evenly. So you have to put like the capture card way down here, and then the microphone and the mouse down at this end. So 6 one, half a dozen the other. Doesn't really make a whole lot of difference. They're like almost identical in size. The Anchor's just a smidge bigger. Negligible. It's not even worth considering. But if you have one of these, then you can download your files. Now, I think these are the slow kind. I think there's like a USB-A that's fast and a USB-A that's slow. And I'm not sure what the numbers are. I want to say 3.1, 3.2, something like that. But I think these are the slow ones. Just saying. So I've got everything ready. It's just a matter of packing it and deciding what I want to carry all day. We will be walking for 7 hours, I think. So whatever I take, I'm going to be carrying for 7 hours on my back. So I'm trying to really downsize, and I'm going to take the action camera. I'm going to take my little lunch bag freezer thing, so I can take some something for he and I to drink, like water. Yeah, not make the mistake of taking a Monster when it's 100 degrees outside again. But the weather's really, really cooled down, and so I think it's going to be in the 70s and 80s, which will be wonderful. I can handle 70s and 80s. Yeah, no problem. So I'm hugely looking forward to this. Roy says you could upload to the cloud while on holiday. Well, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that you could upload to the cloud. I don't personally know how to do that, so you might have to research that a little bit. Jeff's saying this thing with buying the twin GoPro charger, as the battery goes flat, you can use the twin charger with the power bank while using another battery in the GoPro. 3 will last me all day. There you go. So that is true. So if you're using one in the camera, you've got 2 charging, one pretty much charged, and then a dead one charging. Then when this one goes dead, you take this one that's almost charged and put it in there, and then swap. So you should always have a good battery. That would give you 2 hours to charge a battery, or thereabouts. Not Not 100% sure of that math, but it's pretty close. Lewis says, I love the Osmo Pocket. I think I want the twin battery slide. Yes. Yes. Mine is a triple. And it's actually a DJI actually makes this, which is interesting because the Osmo 4 that I just bought comes with a case that holds 3 batteries, I think. Yeah, it charges 3 batteries. So they seem to be big on this triple charge thing. And that it does really well. Roy says airlines are fussy. They really like my desiccant silicone gel packs. Really? They have a problem with gel packs? Isn't that the things that keep things dry? Or keep moisture out or whatever? They have a problem with those? That's kind of... Can you make a bomb out of those or something? If you can, it's way out of my league. Way out of my league. Yeah, you're right, Sly. I can't be transferring and losing time. Well, it's not, because, in the evenings, it's not that you would be, like, worried about the time, losing the time, but what if you lost the file? I don't know. For me, personally, I would just take extra cards and then transfer everything when I got home. But I'm not techie, Lewis, and you are. You're a little bit more advanced than I am, so do what you're comfortable with, bud. Sly, it's only $20 for 128 gigabyte. I'm just going to get a couple. Yes. I like the Samsung. I think I have maybe one of the SanDisks, but now for the bigger ones, for the SD cards, I use the SanDisk or the Lexar. And these I usually only take up to 64, but for the little micros, the Samsungs have worked really well for me. And like I said, they're not expensive. And I have got more of those laying around here. I've even still got some because I buy them on sale. So when Adorama or Amazon or somebody's having a sale on them, I'll snag 4 or 5. And I think I've been getting them for $15 a piece. So, Randy says, I went to Best Buy and the USB-C to SD. I went to Best Buy and the USB-C to SD card reader, that should work. I think I have something around here like that too. Oh, I do. That's that thing that got hot. Okay. So this was like $16 on Amazon. It's by QGM. See if you can... There we go. QGM. And it has 2 USBs on one side, a USB-C. It is USB-C on the part you plug in. And then on this side, it has a card reader. And it has a SD and a micro, right? So for quite a while, probably close to 2 years, I used this for something. Oh, I used this before I got the Hagibis on the Mac Mini. And it did fine. I had no problems whatsoever. I tried to use this on the laptop to plug in the camera and the microphone and the mouse, and it got ridiculously hot. So I don't know if it's just gotten old, because like I said, it is a couple years old. And so then I bought those other ones I just showed you, and I've tried them, and there's no heating issues whatsoever. So, but as far as for card reading, these things are stupid cheap. Yeah. So if you want to transfer to your iPad, just pick up one of these little cheap card readers. They're not expensive. I don't know if is there a Best Buy in Canada? I don't know. Roy says the new iPad has USB-C. I don't know how new his iPad is. What does the old iPad have? USB-C PD is fastest. So on my OWC thing for the Mac Mini, it has that USB-C PD thing. And I think you're supposed to plug the computer into that because it makes everything runs kind of channels through that. And so, yes, it is the fastest. Randy says Elgato Camlink capture card comes with a USB-A 3 extension, so it would not take up so much space. Oh, well, yeah, it does. Even on the Mac Mini or the Hagibus, it has 3 USB ports, but I can only use 2 because that capture card. Now, on the second one, I have an extension cord. And it works great. Why I don't have it on the first one, I don't know. I just haven't gotten around to that yet. Everything works, so it wasn't a high priority. Lewis says, I found 3 cards for $56. 100. That should be enough. Yep. Plus, with what you already have, you should be golden. Good to go. Jeff says, the airlines state that all up including the power bank cannot be more than 100 watt hours, and with LiPo for my drone, they state battery must be stored in a fireproof bag. Really? Do you see why I drive everywhere? I can throw whatever I want to in there. I love how we are also passionate about action cameras. Well, they just, man, I've used one. I've had this, like the original one I bought my son bought me my first one. And it was probably 3 years ago. At least 2, I know. And didn't have a clue how to use it, right? Didn't really appreciate all the things that it does so well, like horizon leveling and image stabilization. Didn't appreciate any of that, right? Just had it in my head, because, it's an old head, that you had to have a camera. And it's just not the case. In fact, like the GoPro Hero 11, I was hugely interested in. Still am a little bit. If the Action 4 is everything it says it should be, I might look at a Hero 11, just because if I'm having to go into another battery ecosystem, why not do 2? But and the Hero 11 you can buy without that subscription. I like that. Roy says, I love my Z9 big battery, last all day. Yes, it does. But you also have to carry that weight all day long. And I'm just going to take a bag, and I want it to be more about what we are doing than the load on my back. And when we went to Dinosaur World, I was carrying too much stuff that I was more focused on my back hurting. And so I didn't really get to fully enjoy the trip. So I just want to take my little tin, my little, Fulton 10 liter, and throw a few things in it, and just carry the one bag. One small bag, right? And I don't want to think about it. If it's there, I need it, but I don't want to think about it. And off we go, right? And we'll have our little water bottles on the side. And because I have found out that he can't pack a whole lot. And I've got kind of a bad shoulder. So I don't know how much I should be packing, right? But the action cameras are just amazing. Lewis says, ooh, should I get Samsung instead of SanDisk Pro? So the Samsung ones I get, what'd I do with it? Oh, right here. They're blue and white. And I'm going to have to put on my glasses to read this to you, because there's no way I can see that. It's itty bitty bitty. Itty bitty. Okay, they're blue with white writing. And they say Pro Plus. And I'll bet you a dime to a dollar it will not focus on that. Ooh, it did. Sort of. Samsung 128 Pro Plus. Now, as far as the U and the V's and all that, U3, A2, V30. They just work. I don't know. And that's the ones I always buy. So, I don't know if I just lucked into a good one and I just keep buying them over and over again. Adorama has them on sale sometimes, and Amazon sometimes will put them on sale. I could check for you to see, because they will be in my cart, or not my cart, but 128. And just see what they're running for. Well, you're in Canada though. Your price might be a little bit different. $11.99 for one. So they've gone down. Normally they're $19. So glad you said that, Lewis, because I'm gonna pick me up some more. We'll just put some of those in my cart right now. Thank you very much. Some people like having different ones, but I like using the same thing. It tried and true and all that good stuff. So, and I've never used a SanDisk Pro Silver. Mine are Extreme Pro. Here we go. Extreme Pro 200 megabytes per second. I don't know what all that means. V30, the U3, 10 in the circle. I don't know. The secret is you have to hide your face. So that's my SD card. And the Lexar, I don't believe they're 200 megabytes per second. I think they're like 180. They're a little bit less than what the SanDisk is. But you're going to need micro SD. So don't even look at anything else. Just pick you up a couple extra micro SDs. And at $11.99, what color did you say? Silver. I don't even see a silver. But, you know, things could be different in Canada too. Because I know I ran across somebody that lives in Canada that has a channel and was talking about something, and he has to come to the States to get it. So you may not have everything that we have here. Roy says most cameras can automatically back up to your smartphone. I know that before we could get the Osmo to work, we had to download something on our iPhones and link them. I don't remember what it was. Never used it since. But you had to do that to get it started. And the same thing with my dash cam in my truck. Well, I had to link it to my phone to get it to start. Now it just runs fine and records to another 128 micro SD card. And if I were ever in a wreck, I would have footage of it. So I think I told you guys about the guy stealing my weed eater. Well, I have cameras set up around my house, and I had video footage of him. And so the cops were they took the video footage, they transferred it to their phone. And so it really gave me credibility that he did that. So let them know I wasn't making it up. Rainey says, on the Nikon ZF, I've been shooting pics all day and only used a third of the battery. I have 2 extra with me just in case needing to replace. So have you've been shooting pics though? You haven't been doing video. So is the ZF a new camera? Because I missed something. I think you have a new camera. Is it the ZF? And didn't they have a ZFC that Peter used to joke about? KFC? Is the ZF and the ZFC two different cameras? I don't know. I don't know why camera companies cannot come out with a completely different number and put them in an order that makes sense. Sony is horrible about that. And if Nikon has a ZF and a ZFC, what's the difference? There has to be. But if the ZF is their new camera and the ZFC has been out for a while, why wouldn't you call it the ZG or the ZH or the something? I don't know. I need to write to Nikon. Let them know I'm better at marketing. Royce is talking to Randy saying, stop that. I'm still trying not to buy a ZF. Oh, it is the new one. Aha. Okay. Roy just answered my question. Lasts longer than the Z8. So, Roy, that wife's credit card you were talking about, there you go. Or was that Jeff? Somebody had a wife's credit card they were going to put in that little black thing. Just put the camera on there. She'll never know. Jeff says, we'll charge each thing as you keep the fully charged in, and the charger will only charge the flat battery. It's orange when charging, then goes green. Okay. I have noticed. Now, I don't keep mine, I charge it either here at the house or sometimes in the truck. But I have noticed it seems to charge the middle one first. And then when that's charged, it goes to the left. And then when that's charged, it goes to the right. I have no idea why it does that. But it works, so I'm not complaining. It was just, one of those. I'll look into an SSD setup for the iPad Pro. Yeah, I think for a card reader, really, I just don't know what connection you have. But for a card reader, I think something cheap like this would be phenomenal. It's not expensive. It's very, very small, lightweight, and they probably even have smaller ones now because that's a couple of years old. Rainey says, plus you can get them in different colors through Nikon England. You can get them in different get what? In different colors. You know I like colors. Oh, the cameras? You can get them in different colors? Really? I kind of like that. So, Peter's friend Kyle was saying he wanted some camera in red camouflage. Well, they make these skins for the cameras. They're like $200. So, I mean, unless you're just a hardcore, I gotta have a skin, they're kind of pricey. But they are kind of cool. I would not pay $200 for a skin, but they are really cool looking. Lewis says, I have the iPad Pro with the slower USB-C 2.0 speed. It's great, but it doesn't have the faster transfer speed. So, I mean, if you're in for the night and you just plug it in and you're just transferring it, and then you go join the parents for dinner or whatever, and it's doing its thing, what do you care how fast it is? And then do one while you're getting ready for bed, and while you're sleeping, let it do its thing. It doesn't have to be fast. Lewis says, airlines are so strict. I don't know what I'm going to do when they see my equipment at TSA. No, I'm not a pro. Well, so I actually have two of the memory card holders, and one holds, I believe it's 8 of the SSDs and 4 of the SDs, maybe. So I don't know. I just can't imagine that it would be that big of a problem. But then I'm not taking a power bank and all that stuff. But I do travel with a lot of batteries, so if I flew, I might be scratching my head or having to UPS me some batteries to wherever it was I'm going, because I'd be charging batteries all the time. I do take a lot of video. You guys don't see a lot of it. Well, you don't see very much of it at all. Every once in a while, I'll put something up, like of when we kayak or something. I got in a little trouble with YouTube about putting the zoo video up. They kind of shadow banned me. So, yeah, I kind of have to be careful when I've got little man with me. But for our family archive, I videotape almost everything, you know. And then when I come home, I immediately, if it's not for YouTube, I'll just put it on an external hard drive, and I have everything listed. So in case of my demise, my kids can just come in and they'll have all those memories. So that's kind of what I use it for. But Roy says to Lewis, a security guard showed me a pin can open a zipped bag even with a TSA padlock. Really? I used to fly some, and I'm trying to think what camera I took. Oh, I think I just took my phone back then. I have a friend that lives out in Las Vegas, and I would fly out there 2 or 3 times a year. I always checked my luggage. I never had any problems. It was just so much more convenient not to have to board the plane with a bunch of luggage, and now you have to pay for your seat. You have to pay for your luggage. I mean, it's just, they nickel and dime you to death. But I would probably carry my camera equipment like with me, and I have some bigger bags to do that with, but my cameras are pretty small, so they wouldn't really take up that much room. And then I would probably still check my clothes, because I've never had a problem with an airline. But I don't fly as much as some of you people, and I have not flown overseas. Jeff says, so Lewis, in the twin charger, one battery fully charged. Oh, I think I read that one. This was fully charged, stays green, and it'll only charge the flat one. Yes. And Roy says, carrying heavy gear, that's what assistants are for. Yes, well, my assistant is 4. And I tried to give him one of the backpacks at Dinosaur World, and he just literally physically could not lift it up. So, yeah, until he gets a little bit bigger, we're going to have to keep it to a real minimum. He could maybe carry a cleaning cloth. Yeah. Roy says, I had a batch of SanDisk cards fail. I like Samsung or Transcend. I've never had any SanDisks fail, but that I know of. Okay. I have had some failures, but I thought it was the camera. So, I've never had anything fail with the Samsung. So, yeah, stick with those. You'll be fine. Jeff says, in Australia, the twin charger and battery pack is between $70 to $100 new. So in the U.S. it'll be cheaper. So do they pay more in Australia to offset the difference? I'm just curious. Because, like, my job in California pays about 3 times as much as it does in Oklahoma, just because the cost of living is so high in California. I don't know that it fully offsets the high cost of living out there, but they do pay more because it is more expensive to live there. Randy says to Lewis, I like the SanDisk Extreme, our V60 to V90 for 4K, V30 with either SanDisk or Samsung. V30 is great for HD. So I think mine are V30. Didn't I just read that? Yes, they're V30, and they do 1080 just fine. No worries. Delkin makes the best CF Express cards. I have nothing that takes a CF Express. I just think those, they're big and they're kind of handy, I think. Right? You could put so much more on them. I think. I don't know because I've never had anything that took one. But I just think the bigger, it's easier to handle. You know, these little, I have heard, now I've never experienced this, but I have heard people say the little micro SDs, that when you push them in, you know, they're spring loaded and that they fly across the room. Which has never happened to me, but I think it would be kind of funny. Lewis says, Randy, you're the best. Thank you. I need to do more research. I literally just put 4 of those in my cart at $11.99 because they've never failed me. So pull the trigger, Lewis, and you should have them by Wednesday. I think it's 2-day shipping or something. Randy's asking, Lewis, micro SD or regular sized SD? If it's the GoPro, it's a micro. Lewis says, okay, I'll get the V60 or V90, and I need micro SD, Randy, most likely. The gold or black SanDisk Extreme Pro. See, here we are. We go with the English again. Roy says, most regular SD cards these days are made with a micro SD card inside. Now, when I got my dash cam, I think that was my first micro SD. And someone told me not to, because, you know, they all come with that adapter. And someone told me not to use the adapter, that it slowed down the transfer rate. So I never have. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. Randy says, I have recorded to 1 terabyte micro SD card with 4K 30 and had no problems whatsoever. There you go, Lewis. Lewis says, packing for long-term travel is exhausting. Honestly, I need a break from all the numbers. My mind spins. Yeah, so any kind of traveling with a 4-year-old, you have to plan for pretty much everything, because as an adult, if you're in a t-shirt and the weather gets cold, okay, you might get cold. No big deal, right? Well, if you're 4 and you get cold, you can get like hypothermia cold really quickly. Everything is exaggerated from what it is on an adult. So you have to, like, I'm packing pants and shorts and t-shirts and hoodies, and so I've got to, for contingencies, you know, because I can't have him getting too hot or too cold. He handles the heat better than he handles the cold, but I don't know what it's going to be like at night up there. And so, you know, I've got to kind of make sure that he has everything he needs. So the underwear is the only thing that we can just take, you know, 1 per day and be fine. Roy says, the Nikon ZF is very new. Retrio like the ZFC, but better. Okay. Because I think Peter still has his ZFC, and I think he likes it. Randy says, the Nikon ZF is a retro style full frame camera. The ZFC is APS-C. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, that was where the C would come in. But you would think they would make the ZF before they made the ZFC. But, again, don't work for Nikon. Lewis says, yeah, they make it confusing, so you have to spend money and then not know what you're buying most of the time. Exactly. Yes. That's why I love Canon, because the numbers are easy. Roy says, my wife would know. I wish I knew how. Well, yeah. If she looks at those things, then yeah, she would probably know if a couple $1,000s show up on the bill. Or, you know what? We couldn't have to tell her, and then she might question it, dispute the charge, and then you get a camera for free, right? A little unethical, but you only live once. Zed Fantastic is full frame camera. Z Fantastic Concept is APS-C crop sensor camera. Okay. Ah, that's funny. Lewis says, I have USB-C, but this... Am I redoing these? Have I... But the slow 2.0 is... Okay. Lewis says, hey, you're so smart. I can do it while I sleep. Yeah. No, I've just, had to, like, not intending to do things while I sleep, but if it says it's going to take 45 minutes and I'm dog tired, I'm going to bed. You just finish what you're doing, and I'll see you in the morning. Roy says, I don't like silicone skins. They cover up the buttons, text, and the LEDs behind them. These aren't silicone. They're like a vinyl wrap, like they put on cars. It's like a vinyl wrap for the phone. It doesn't add any protection. I don't think it covers up the buttons either. Because, well, I know it doesn't they make them for the M6, and you could still see all the dials and everything. But it literally is just like a vinyl wrap for your car. It's very, very, very thin. And very, very expensive. On the SanDisk SD card, 150, 180, 200, 300 megabyte is read-write. 10 is the class 10 V30. V90, I believe, is what you need for video. These are all V30, and they work just fine. So I don't know. But didn't I just read? They're all of these are V30s. And I think they're that, whatever that 10 is in the circle, I think they're all that. But the V30s work just fine. And for $12, it's a good deal. Now, if you're doing 4K, you might have to step it up, Lewis. But having said that, again, V30 thought it was on 1080. It was not. It was in 4K. But it did start a new file every 15 minutes, and it made a stupid more amount of files than the 1080. So just letting you know that. And honestly, when I was editing them, you can't tell any difference. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was editing them because I had one in front and one behind. So I would take some shots from behind and some shots from the front. And so they were all mixed up together. And you can't tell which one's 1080 and which one's 4K. So maybe it's because they're V30. I don't know. Roy says, whenever I travel to bad places, I take my oldest, crappiest bag. No one would know gear is in it. Yes. That's, I learned that lesson when I was, in another lifetime, I was a plumber. And if you take Linux or Rigid as an electrician, if you take Klein, those tools get stolen. They're the first ones to get stolen, right? If you take Harbor Freight stuff, man, you'll have that for years. Nobody takes that stuff. So the first 2 sets that got stolen, then I replaced it with the Harbor Freight stuff, and I still have some of that stuff. And that's been 20 years ago. Randy says, Lewis's Lazuka, transfer a file from camera to iPad, then connect an external SSD that has the connection to the USB-C to the iPad and offload the files to that. Okay, let's slow down here. Transfer the file from the camera to the iPad, if it will do that. I don't know how to do that. Then connect an external SSD that has the connection to the USB-C to the iPad. That I know how to do. And I offload files to that. Yes. And I have several of these laying around. I don't know how big this is. I want to say this is a 5 terabyte. It's not anywhere close to being full, and all, like, there's almost 2 years worth on here. So, yeah. And now, would the airline say something about that? Because that's really small, and you can put that in. And I would take, if I was traveling, I would take an SSD over an HDD, just because there's no moving parts inside. So, I think as far as just for backup storage, the HDDs are a whole lot cheaper and they're fine. But for if you're wanting to actually work off something, like in the Hagibus, I have a M2 SSD, I think, M.2 or something like that. It's like the long, skinny chip thingy. And so that's what I work off of because the Mac only has 256. So I think the one in the Hagibus is a 1 terabyte. But I was getting to where I couldn't have like 2 or 3 videos going at once without filling everything up. And I was getting very annoyed and frustrated and everything else. So that really solved that problem. And then I transfer it to the external drive. So that's a good idea. It does, if the camera will talk to the iPad. That's a variable I don't know. Randy says, I'm trying out the Pro Master Rugged V90 512 gigabyte SD card, and it's fast. That's cool. Because you do a lot of videos, so you need something that's, pretty with it. Me, I do 2 videos a week, and they're not very long. It takes longer to edit them. It takes longer to edit them than it does to make them or the final product. So, yeah, I don't need great big anything. And now, I am making a video that's off-site, right? So it will be recorded to an SD card, but most of the videos I make here are just recorded into Ecamm. So, no card needed. Roy says, nearly all of the 12-pack of SanDisk SD cards I had, the contacts delaminated. Ooh. That would be bad. That would be like you're talking about these contacts right here coming, pulling apart. That would be bad. Yeah. I really don't mind the little SD cards. The little micro SD cards. They're, yeah, they're kind of small, but I don't know. I just don't really drop them that much. And I've never had one fling across the room, so. Lewis says, ooh, Randy is so smart. Okay. So transfer files to iPad, then offload to SSD. Why didn't I think of that? Wow. So, do you know how to do that, Lewis? I don't know. I don't know if the camera will talk to the iPad. If it will, then that's the perfect solution right there. You just need Wi-Fi. Roy says, I had a jar of failed SD cards, but I'm still waiting for a XQD or CF Express card to fail. Again, don't know what an XQD is. It's probably for like a more professional type camera. And the CF Express cards, are they not, do they have exposed contacts? I guess they would have to. Never had one. Jeff says, when you carry batteries for cameras, GoPros, drones, speedlights, and other items that require batteries, the watt hours will add up. All batteries cannot go in cargo. It must be carry-on. Yes. Okay, so the watt hours, let's take an example. This is so small. All right, the watt hours, I have no idea. Does it say on here? Only use DA charging devices, yada yada yada. Never put the yada yada yada. Does it say? Lithium ion polymer rechargeable battery. I don't believe it says on here what the hours are. Or the watts. Not seeing it. Oh, here we go. 1300 milliamp. So, I don't think that's very much. And we go by what now? Watt hours? And those are milliamp hours. So, I could have a lot? I don't know. If they're milliamps, I could have a lot, right? I don't know. I could probably have 6, I'm thinking. At least. And not be over. I don't know. Roy says CF Express B cards are not cheap, but very fast and reliable. Well, if they hold enough, and if I'm wrong, correct me. David, right? Hello, David. I think your name's David. I think. I watched some of your videos, and you need an action camera, okay? Right? I mean, I'm an old lady with an action camera. You actually do action. It was really cool. I liked watching your videos. Roy says the Nikon ZFC feels so flimsy that I think it was made by Canon. Ooh, burn, Canon, burn! Roy says USB 4 is starting to appear. So, is Thunderbolt USB 4? I get very confused. Like something will say it has 4 ports or USB 4 or I don't know. Is Thunderbolt USB 4? Is that the same thing? I don't know. I just know if it fits the hole I plug it in. Lewis says I have a 512 gigabyte SSD that I can bring with me. Thanks for helping me live my life stress free. I was panicking. It's a vacation. You should not be stressing about the packing. Okay, packing is a chore, but you shouldn't be stressing about it. And if you have a 512 gigabyte SSD card, you are good. That's huge. That's way, like mine are 64. That's a lot more. I was going to try to do the math. It's like 6. No. It's like a lot more. So you'll be fine. You need some micro SSDs for the GoPro. Roy says, why put a cover on a camera if it doesn't add protection? Because to look cool. It's like a wrap on a car. It doesn't do anything but make it look cool. Right? Then they have them in all kinds of like camo and where it's like cracked glass, where the whole body of the camera looks like cracked glass. All different colors. I mean, it's vinyl. It's a vinyl wrap. So pretty much the sky's the limit on what they can make a camera look like. And I mean, they're cool looking, but they're expensive. So yeah, I'm just not much for, they're not functional. And I like function. Randy's giving a thumbs up. Oh, because it is 1209. Randy says, I think the HD is downgraded from 4K. And Roy's saying HD drives are slow, but more reliable than SSD as long as they don't travel. Yeah, so the bouncing around can kind of, the HD drives don't really like that too much. Lewis says, I think I will transfer at home easier. Much easier, right? That would be my route, is I would just take extra SSDs, especially at $11.99. I am picking me up some of those. and they will be here before I leave. So, Roy says CF Express cards don't have it, the things exposed. Okay, that's cool. That's probably why they're so reliable. And Randy says you take the micro SD card from the camera, put it into an adapter that will have the USB-C card reader. Once on the iPad, then use the external SSD cable to the drive and transfer the file to it. Okay. Randy, you confuse me. Once on the iPad, okay, so you take the SD card from the camera. Gotcha. SD card, camera, put it into the adapter. It really does go in. Maybe it's that way. Okay, gotcha. That'll have the USB card. Is okay. Once on the iPad, then use the external. Okay, so I've transferred it. Waited my 45 minutes. Okay, it's on there. Then unplug this and plug in the external hard drive. External storage, whatever. Yeah, gotcha. Did you follow all that, Lewis? Well, you can't see him, but yeah. Roy says the biggest CF Express I've seen lately is 2 terabyte. Oh my goodness. I think that would take a while to fill up. You could probably do a very nice 3-week vacation on that. Roy says Thunderbolt is not USB. It's an Apple acronym. Anachronism? An acronym, I think, maybe. Lewis says Roy is right. Roy is always right, Lewis. That's one thing I have noticed. Roy is always right. Roy is often right. See? Told you. Roy says SSD drives need to be plugged in from time to time, or they can lose what? Or they can lose their data? What? SSD drives need to be plugged in from, or the ooh. Well, I mean, I do plug mine in, just almost a lot. Yeah. Twice a month? Is that enough? Maybe a little bit more than that, but not a lot, honestly. Roy says, sorry, sometimes the big words sneak out. Well, an anachronism. Okay. Not sure what an anachronism is, unless you were trying to say it's an acronym, but then it wouldn't be an ism. So I'm thinking it's not an acronym. But anyway, guys, love you to pieces. Next week will be from a hotel. I will try either tonight or tomorrow to set up the laptop. There we go. I've got Ecamm loaded onto it. I don't have Crisp on it yet, and I don't have everything. Obviously, I don't have everything set up on this. So, yeah, it is what it is, right? It'll be all right. It'll be all right. But so we may face some different problems. We may face some of the same problems, but we will be live next Friday night from Parts Unknown, right? So I hope everybody has a fantastic week. Roy says a couple of times a year plugging in. Okay, good, because I do it at least twice a month, I think. Lewis is saying good night. Thanks for all your help. And Roy is saying Thunderbolt is not USB. It's an Apple weird thing. Okay. Well, I have a big PC, but I'm more immersed now in the Mac world. So yeah, I don't know all of Apple's ways of doing things. So anyway, love you guys to pieces. Thank you so much for joining me again, and we will do this again next week. So everybody stay safe, have a good week, and I will see you next week.